Yo, what's good with y'all boys? A little quick update on my life. I am back at the trenches. I have, left my apartment in Dallas to come here to basically do a full dopamine detox. No crazy crib, no crazy lifestyle, just straight locked in. As you can see, I got my shit here. I have my laptop. I don't even got my full set. I just brought my laptop and my monitor. But I just want to say something real quick. I was in a very lost space, coming back from traveling and shit. So I thought, let me just get rid of all distractions and just me to myself. I'm not even talking to nobody. I'm not even I'm just mainly to myself now. You know what I'm saying? Having a good relationship and building that relationship back up with myself, right? And this is like something that I just like remembered again, which is just my purpose. I lost that shit throughout these past couple months, and it slowly faded away. And I realized, like, damn, like when I came back and I was living out, I came back to Dallas, the Dallas apartment, and I was living there. I was like, damn, like I don't feel like doing shit. And it's maybe dopamine, like my dopamine levels are fucked, and whatever, right? But I realized I lost my why, and coming back here today was the day that I think I've been in this crib, my people's crib, for like a week or two, and I finally saw the light. And the light was that all the things that I've used, these are the tools that I've used to build up to my ascent before the descent. Those tools, I remembered them, and there are as simple as it follows: purpose, motivation, discipline, and just an understanding of where you're going. But basically, I figured out I was blocked. My energies was blocked. I couldn't understand. I was always either up here or down here. I wasn't fully aligned myself. And I spent a lot of time meditating. I spent a lot of time clearing the dirt and the debris out from my life. And now I can actually think. And I realized it's so simple. It's very simple. I want to get into this topic of, like, you don't really have to be smart. You can say you're smart, yeah, but like smart in certain topics or whatever, right? But intelligence is what you really need. I always say this all the time: to be efficient and to be effective. Doing the right things at the right optimal time, not wasting any time. And figuring out what to do, that's probably the hardest part. Like, you can be very efficient doing the wrong things. So for me, what was effective for me was to not, like, it's kind of weird to say, but not working. Like, I took a lot of time off of work, off of everything, off of ecom, all that stuff, and I put it aside to clear my mind. The work itself was cluttering my mind. That's what I realized throughout my meditation. So I cleared everything, and I actually just sat myself and it actually just, like, right now I'm just talking to myself. I'm just like journaling or whatever. Everything became clear. Like, I was able to erase the dirt. Here's the thing that I want to tell you boys. The 3 things that I've learned that would lead into, I discovered why I descend. And a lot of people, the reason why they have a lot of setbacks is a 3-step feedback process. Number 1, you're ignorant. You become ignorant, right? That leads to confusion. And after confusion, it leads to delusion. So let me explain, right? Ignorant is like whenever, say you're winning or whatever, right? I always say this all the time. You don't celebrate your wins, you don't dwell on your losses. But I was celebrating my wins a little bit too much. I was traveling a lot. I was, doing shit, spending a lot of money, whatever, right? And that led to me being ignorant. And I lost my discipline. I lost the tools that I was using for me to get there in the first place, in order to spend that money, in order to have that freedom, whatever. So I was ignorant, right? I thought I was still the same person, but nah, I'm over here a degen fucking drinking alcohol every single day. So I'm not the same person, but I think I am. So that leads to confusion, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're lost or whatever. And that leads to delusion, which is the third part. Delusion is like you're trying to think straight, but you're confused. All plays back into the mirror that you look at yourself and how you view yourself. And that's the biggest thing that I've been working on, which is just clearing everything. Like, just putting everything to the side and actually like talking to myself and actually like looking at myself in the mirror, or just fucking just thinking or just meditating in general, right? And it's just understanding really who you are, because that's the thing I forgot was myself. I forgot the relationship I had with myself, basically, from all the dirt that's been, just bullshit distractions, which is cool. It's cool. I don't regret anything, but it's just a lesson to learn. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm at this point where I'm like clear-minded. Like, you don't need to be smart. You just need to know how to use what you know. That's what it is. And being able to be conscious about all the things that you know about, and all the tools that you have, which is purpose, which is the reason why you're doing it, motivation, discipline, whatever tools you use, like to get to where you want to get to. Tools, I mean, like, certain structures you build for yourself, certain structures you use, right? So all these tools that you have, right? You just need to know how to use them, right? So it's like a lot of people, they talk about discipline, talk about motivation, talk about whatever, right? But like the definition doesn't really matter. It's just how do you perceive it and how can it help you. I think I'm talking about IQ. Yeah, it's just upping your IQ level. So it's not about being smart. It's just about knowing how to use your IQ, because IQ is basically just applied knowledge. You need to know how to apply your knowledge, because you can't just read books all day and just expect to be smart. Yeah, you might be smart, but how are you using that knowledge to your advantage? How are you using that knowledge to better your life? And that's basically what my point I'm trying to say, which is like, you don't have to be smart to make money. You have to be intelligent. That's the difference. The intelligence is you taking that information that you have, that you know, and applying it and helping yourself or whatever, or fixing a problem, whatever, right? And when you're in that point of, going through that process of being ignorant, not knowing, but like, you lie to yourself and shit, to confusion, to delusion, what happens there, you start to go insane. Whenever you're delusional, you're insane, because you're trying to basically, insanity really is just doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. You cannot do that shit. Like, if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it's working, then keep using it. But that is gonna slowly fade, because everything is always changing, everything's always evolving. You get used to it, you get desensitized to it. It's the same thing when you go to gym and you like start working out in the first year. First year, you're getting hella progress, you're getting hella muscle, whatever, right? But the second year, third year, it starts to slow down. That's maybe the fact that you're doing the same thing, and then the progress starts to like fade away. The results start to like plateau, and that's basically what happens. So basically, I'm damn near saying that I went insane coming back from all these trips that I was going on, and everything I was doing, they're all like damn near the same shit. I was trying to do the same shit that I've been doing before. I'm trying to revisit my past self, which was like better than where I was, you know what I'm saying? So that worked in that time frame, but now we're in a new time frame. You gotta like do something different, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. I made a drastic change. I moved back into my people's crib, and I'm like, it sucks or whatever, I don't get to live in there, but like, I don't deserve that shit right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't feel like the type of person to deserve that shit. So I need to start building back up. It's like from a new, whole different perspective, as an evolved perspective, you know what I'm saying? Because I done took a fall, I done took a hit from me losing myself or whatever. So now I have to rebuild that back up again, right? And I can't do it the same way I did before, because it wouldn't work anymore, because I'm still in the same like what do you call it? I'm trying to project my brain out so y'all can understand. Like, I'm still in the same like path that led to my downfall, or led to my setback. So it's like, I can't do what I was doing then. I have to come up with something new. So what I'm saying is that you got to keep learning, and when you learn shit, just go and apply it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were the one that's stopping yourself. As my great master once told me, get out of your own way. And a lot of times, you are the reason that you don't succeed, because you are in your own way. You're stopping yourself from getting to where you want to get to, and it's the accountability that you need to have within yourself to realize, like, damn, like, you cannot blame nobody. I always tell this all the time. This is one of my the mindsets that I have that really shaped right now in my whole life in general, all the good and the bad, is just accountability, because nobody's gonna come, like, it's nobody's fault. You know what I'm saying? It's nobody's fault that you end up fucking yourself over and losing yourself and going insane or fucking going to debt or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Everything's your fault. And when you sit in that mindset, now you can be like, oh, how can I fix it? Because now you're putting that responsibility onto you. You're not blaming yourself, but you're putting that responsibility on yourself. You're accountable for that, because you are the reason that it happened. So now you're in that process of thinking how to solve it, because now you are taking that responsibility. You get what I'm trying to say? So boom, now you start thinking of, instead of playing victim, which is probably the worst thing you can ever do, is play victim and sit there and cry and not do shit about it, just sit there and complain and just wait for time to pass. Like, nah, you don't do that shit. You actively go and try to do something about it, and that's exactly what I did. I done came all the way from fucking Dallas all the way back to my people's crib. Yeah, bro, you gotta fall in love with the journey, because the journey will take you to the destination. Like, what your path is, you gotta focus on that shit. And that's what I was doing. I was focused on too much shit at once, and I lost sense of the path that I was actually on. And now I want to tell you the realization that I came forward today is my path. And that path is just growth. It's simply just growth. You know what I'm saying? So figuring out every way, whichever way to build myself, you know what I'm saying, and not stay stagnant or start declining. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I damn near realized coming back over here. Cause then I realized through all the dirt, including work, including all the shit that I thought that I was, or you know, whatever, just false images of myself, just ego here, this ego here, trying to, you know, wear a mask basically. And it's like, nah, like you gotta come clean to yourself, because you're wearing a mask, you're lying to yourself, and sometimes you forget that you're wearing a mask. And that's the thing that I realized too, that I was wearing a mask. But coming back to my point, which is just realizing your path, like actually understanding your journey and your destination. You just gotta fall in love with the process, and the process is not a straight line. That's why a lot of people like think it's like it's gonna be a straight line forever, and it's like, okay, or you're not gonna get anywhere, like if you put it in the work. But it's like the path, like the line of improvement is very, like, depending on the type of person you are. Me, I'm like a very volatile person. Like my highs are really high and my lows are really low, right? But I'm trying to keep that, I'm trying to neutralize that a little bit, and like, you know, not making my lows drop below my lower low. So not breaking structure. For y'all traders out there, I'm not trying to break structure to the downside. I'm trying to maintain structure to the upside. Higher highs and higher lows. You don't want your lows to break the previous low. You get what I'm trying to say? So, you know, that's just really the path. And it's like, you got to understand that. You got to catch yourself. You got to be not hard. I don't want to say hard on yourself. I want to say that you need to be aware of what is going on in your life. Like, and not getting lost in the sauce is what a lot of people see it as, getting lost in the sauce, which that's what I did, you know what I'm saying? Getting lost in all the money I was making. And it's like, oh, I'll just kick my feet up. But it's like, it goes really, really deep. The further you meditate on it, the further it gets really deep. I know I'll be talking and like, I'm jumping from idea to idea because I have so much shit to say, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm trying to like smooth out my words, but I'm gonna get better with my speech as time goes on, right? But it's really just the destination, like the destination. To get to the destination, you gotta worry about right now. Like, what is going on right now? What do you need to do right now that will take you to your destination? It's as simple as that, you know? Like I said, you don't have to be smart to make money, or you don't have to be smart to do anything, literally. It's very just simple. The more simple you can get it to be, the more easier it will be. So, like I said, a lot of times people, including me, will get in my own way by making shit more complicated than it really needs to be. Just understand just the small shit, and from that small little idea that you can understand, you can take that into branching into millions of ideas. You know what I'm saying? So that's just really it. This is very like philosophical and it's very broad, but I hope your boys understand what I'm trying to say. I'm still kind of cooked. I didn't sleep last night, but yeah, I need some more coffee. I think that's why I'm booted up, because I took a coffee break too. That's a crazy thing. I took a coffee break just to clear my life and just clear everything, and it just actually just sit in a room by myself and just think. And just understand where I'm at, really. You know what I'm saying? And you need to know what you need in different parts of your journey. You know what I'm saying? So, and it will change, and you gotta be on top of that shit. Then when the playtime is over, the playtime is over. When the work time is over, the work time is over. Same shit. It goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? So like, you don't want to work and not enjoy the fruits of your labor. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to take that too far. You don't want to take anywhere too far. You want to achieve equilibrium. That is probably the thing that I was working towards, which I discovered, which is my equilibrium, which is the like perfect balance. And that is right there is what like I'm trying to, you know, project out so you guys can understand, is to achieve equilibrium, balance. If you don't have balance, you go insane very easily. Depending on the type of person you are, for me, I can go insane very fast, because I'm like, for me, everything I do is fast, and it's like, I don't know how to word it. I don't want to say like I'm all like, oh, I'm like good or smart or whatever, but you know, I'm trying to figure out my talent. You know, I do know I have a talent, but I'm trying to figure that shit out. But balance for everybody is different. It's not 50-50 all the time. That's not what I mean by balance. Balance means that what is good for you. So like, a lot of people, they can work fucking 16 hours a day, you know, which I used to do, you know, and I achieved that really, really well. But, you know, you would change, and a lot of people, everybody's different, you know what I'm saying? So maybe 5 hours of work is good enough for this amount of period, and then the rest of the day you can do whatever. But like I said, everything's constructive. You need to build your life constructively, and everything that you do must align with your path to get there the fastest. But it's like, you don't want to go too fast, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, because I went too fast. My mind couldn't keep up with what it was producing, basically. So basically, I just self-sabotage and basically crumble. You know what I'm trying to say? Because the faster you run, yeah, you can run really fast, but if you trip, you're gonna fall really hard. And that's basically what happened to me. So yeah, boys, check out the crib. You know, we got the fan. I turn off the fan for y'all boys. Y'all can hear me, but I'm gonna turn it back on because it's kind of getting hot on this bitch because I'm over here cooking up in my shit. But yeah, it's not just really, a lot of people don't really talk about like the actual spirituality mentality part of it. I mean, everybody hears mentality shit, spiritual shit, and they just brush it over, but it gets really, really deep once you get really deep in it. And I'll say, like, I'm a very spiritual person. I've been following a spiritual path since sophomore year, but yeah, it's just, I really just want to basically just show you guys like a raw, like, reality of what's it like to be an entrepreneur, to actually embark on this journey. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's journey is unique to them, so I don't even want to call it entrepreneurship because that's very niche. I just want to say reaching towards enlightenment. I can say something like that, but I think that's too far. You know what I'm saying? But not too far, but I'm using the wrong words right now. But it's just, yeah, like, it's not just work. Like, yeah, you can do the work, but like, you need to actually like understand that shit. You need to actually, you know, and it takes your body, mind, and soul to actually align for you to move on to the next step. You know, that's basically where everybody is. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody worships the body, but they forget about the mind and soul. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be like that because you'll be insane and you won't even know. You know, that's the crazy part. This is a very thin line. It's a very, very, very thin line, but the clearer you see the path, the bigger the line gets. So you can have more of a breather room. You know, the more you evolve, you know, the more you see. But you know, it gets really deep. It gets very, very deep. It's very simple, but it gets very deep. But yeah, it's just mainly just, I just really want to show you guys the reality of this shit, and not just only just the money and e-com or trading or whatever, but just you as a person, you as a human. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's more to it than just money and your skill. You know, it gets very deep. So I've been exploring this since I was a sophomore. You know what I'm saying? Just exploring consciousness and shit, and just understanding the world that you live in and understanding the shell that you are living inside. And I say this to leave it off with meditate more. That's really it. Meditation really got me here. You know, if it wasn't for meditation, yeah, I wouldn't be consistent for a long period of time. But when I do, it improved my life a lot, because all you're doing is practicing consciousness. You're being aware, more aware. So now you're seeing pockets of darkness that you haven't seen before. You get what I'm trying to say? Because like, one thing you can view at multiple angles. This is the 3D, the three-dimensional world that we live in. It's not just that, it's more. So it's like you can view things from a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th dimension from one single idea. So the more you meditate, the more you train your mind, your third eye, and your soul to see this shit, and you can see it come up. That's basically how you really evolve spiritually. Like I said, you gotta align your body, mind, and soul first in order to proceed, or just evolve. I don't want to say proceed to the next level, but to evolve. You know, who doesn't want to evolve? You know what I'm saying? This ties really closely with religion and spirituality, which is just, you know, ascending. You know, everybody wants to ascend. Everyone wants to go to heaven. Everybody, you know, nobody wants to go to hell. That's insanity. You know, you don't want to be insane. And I don't want to say too much deep shit about, you know, it's religion or spirituality, but damn near this is hell that we're living on right now. All we're doing here is just to escape the main thing that I want to seek, that I realize now, and I want a lot of people to realize within themselves, is to seek freedom. Freedom from what? From pain, and to do it the right way, you know, because there's a lot of wrong ways to do it. By distracting yourself or like ignoring it. Nah, you don't do that shit. You gotta go head on, straight forward, and actually face, you know, the troubles that are behind the gateway to your freedom. Yeah. We're in the trench grind, my boys. I'm back in it. I told y'all boys I want to go back to the trenches, and here I am. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if y'all want to learn more about yourself, just study yourself, bro. Study your chakras. That's where a lot of my knowledge came from. It's just understanding like different energy points within your body and within your spine. You know what I'm saying? You know, we operate at different frequencies every single day, but obviously you want to align everything. You don't want to just operate up in the crown chakra, because then your root chakra is fucking weak. You know, it doesn't have a stable ground, so you need to address all of them. Damn, I'm getting deep. I don't even stop yapping real before so much topics to be talked about, but yeah, boys, I just want to really show y'all just the raw reality of going through this journey, because it's not easy. I would say it's very painful, but it's the good amount of pain. It's the right pain. You know what I'm saying? It's like you either suffer following God or you suffer following the devil. Either way, you will suffer, but you gotta choose the right suffering. Here, and I want you to realize within yourself, and I'm still realizing within myself what type of pains do I need in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because there's pain that will destroy you now. There's pains that will build you. So it's just differentiating between the two. But don't get too lost. You know what I'm saying? Do your meditation. Stay grounded. Stay in the present moment. And yeah, you will get to where you always wanted to go, which is back to the kingdom of heaven. Yeah, boys, I'm going to let y'all go with that little yap session.